New faces. I should have told you, I am the immediate past president, Marissa Dickinson, and Ashley is our interim president-elect. President-elect, yeah. So she will take over for Josh next July. So that's why we're up there right now. Who is doing yes and this? Oh, Alyssa, sorry. Alyssa, take it away.
We have some guest visitors here today. I'm gonna call you up, and if you can stand, correct my pronunciation if I get anything wrong. Tell us where you work and what your favorite Halloween candy is. So, Carissa Kudo.
Hi, my name's Chris Agato. So Chris Agato, I just started at Condition last night. It's just an office here downtown, and my favorite Halloween candy is
Helen Lucas.
Hi, my name's Helen Lucas. I work in the graduate admissions team at Turbo University. And my favorite Halloween candy would be Twix.
All right, we have a returning guest, Megan Bowers.
All right, I'm Megan Bauer. I work at Woodman's, I'm the natural manager, and I like 100 strength.
Oh, those are so good.
They're good.
All right, we have AJ Dupree, who I hear is from Oklahoma chapter.
Hey everyone, my name is AJ. My pronouns are they, them. And I am a professional political organizer. Just came off of a contract, so I'm newly unemployed, so if any of y'all are hiring. Anyway, so I do professional organizing, and then I run my own small business that does consulting and stuff for small businesses and such, brand like marketing stuff. And so, yeah, Halloween candy. It's a tough one. Are they Reese's? Yeah.
PCs or cups?
Have Charles Albrecht.
Hi, I'm Charles. I am also a professional political operative, and I also run a consulting business, and I do consulting on marketing, specifically social media marketing. And so if anyone has any needs with that, let me know. My favorite Halloween candy probably would be cheese. It changes daily. It changes daily. Anything with caramel. Anything with caramel.
All right, well, thank you all for coming and joining us today. We're really excited to have all these guests here today. This is going to be a very special meeting, and for all of our members, please make sure to say hi and welcome them after today.
Do you want to yeah, so we currently have local camps going on right now. If you still want to join, there are you can just like sign up with people who are going. I think you're doing tomorrow, right? And I know I believe we still need one more person to deliver them on Sunday. So oh, you took it? Oh, awesome. Okay, great. So then we don't need that. Unless you want to go with person. And then also coming up, we have. If you're interested in volunteering for the turkey trot, Boys and Girls Club and YMCA is looking for volunteers. I think you literally just stand on the course and tell people where to turn. So it'll be really easy, and they said that will be done by 9:30 a.m. So I know a number of people are running it. James, I think I'll see you there. But if you're not running it, okay.
You're running it now.
And then way in the future, we'll be volunteering, I forget when it is, Marissa, December 28th for Rotary Lights.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send something out soon, but put it on your calendars. And if anybody has any service event ideas, please fill it out in the survey that Jake sends out, and I can add it to my list of things to look into. Laura, what can you tell us about Friendsgiving?
So Steph, Colin told me to talk about Friendsgiving tonight, so, we have our upcoming Friendsgiving social at the Driftless X. Friendsgiving has been a long-standing tradition for RA. We have outgrown people's houses, so now we go to public locations. But very exciting for us to have another one coming up on Friday the 12th. Famous Dave's is going to be catering. They catered last year or 2 years ago. It was delicious. $10 a person. Axe throwing is $15 a person. Toby's are always really good about giving us a nice discount. It's really, really fun to do. Turns out if you're Brandon Harris and you wear a 3-piece suit while doing axe throwing, you do a really good job. So if you're looking for outfits to wear, 3-piece suits were what got Brandon the good skills last time. So there's signups on Club Runner, so make sure to go out there and do that. It's always a really fun event. So yeah.
So we are a sponsor of the White Privilege Symposium, which unfortunately falls on the same weekend as Ugly Sweater. But we do have an entry for one person from our club to attend it. It's December 3rd, which is a Friday, and December 4th. So I mean, do have to book as well. So if someone is interested in participating in it on behalf of our club, and then potentially maybe sharing some of the stuff they learned, let me know. And we can get you signed up. Ugly Sweater. James, want to go for it?
What do you want me to say?
All the good stuff, all the things.
All the things.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah.
I had no idea before 5 seconds ago I'd be talking about the sweater 5K.
That's how we roll.
I think December 3rd is Friday. December 4th is Saturday. Saturday is the day of the race. We're gonna need volunteers on December 3rd, December 4th, and December 5th. On December 3rd, we'll have packet pickup, is that right? No?
It's all.
It's all important. On December 3rd, we're gonna need people to make the packets for our packet pickup.
Set up the course.
December 3rd, we're gonna set up the course with all the lights. We light up the whole course from Myrick Park along the marsh trails, almost all the way to Riverside Park. We set up lights, and we're gonna need lots of volunteers to help put that up. And then on the day of the race, December 4th, we need a lot of volunteers to be on the course. We need a lot of volunteers to do like the packet pickup that day of, the registration table that day of. And then on December 5th, we're gonna need a lot of volunteers in the morning, starting around 9 in the morning. That's Sunday, December 5th, to clean everything up. So that's picking up all the lights. That's not too glamorous, but that's actually the least stressful thing to do on that weekend, because you don't need to get it done by such and such hour, or else everything fails. Yeah. Yes.
How do you sign up to volunteer?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know.
If you go to if you go to oneugly5k.com, I don't think it works if you do www, so don't do that. Just go to oneugly5k.com. That'll redirect to the actual website. And then there's a link to register and there's a link to volunteer. That link to volunteer is not the club runner volunteer. It's for the general public. So you can sign up, get all your best friends to sign up, get everybody you work with to sign up. We are going to be pushing the general public to help volunteer for our event, like most races do. So yes, oneugly5k.com.
Yeah, so there's also along the Rotary after our website on the top, there's a Twitter 5K button as well.
Okay.
It's the same website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our biggest fundraiser, which allows us to do a lot of the different things that we do throughout the year, international projects. So it's important that it's successful. So we can't do it without everyone's help. So it is a fun event. Join us. Thank you.
If you want to run it, just volunteer there for it.
You want to run it, right?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, correct. So we can use your help on Sunday cleaning it up.
Okay, yeah.
We can use your help on Friday crafts. We can maybe even use your help before the race and then you can warm up and then you can run. But I can't run Yeah, but you should totally run it.
Rare warm clothes. We had high schoolers show up in like ripped jeans and a t-shirt. So it is outside. So and it's December, so it's cold usually. So that's appropriately.
If you know anybody, friends, family, kids that want to help volunteer, we'll take anybody to help because it's literally all hands on deck.
Yeah, and you can register for the race too.
And you
So
get a free
Carson,
t-shirt.
Carson's gonna register for the race. You can get all your friends that are runners or wanna be runners or are capable of walking also. You can walk around the race. My family, my two boys that are 10, 11, 10, and 12 years old, they're not gonna run, they're gonna walk. So go get all your friends and family to sign up. That's all I got.
Volunteers do get a long sleeve t-shirt. They are really pretty awesome. So.
All right, James, you're back up here. I know.
Oh, right.
And then can I give you like directions when to scroll or something?
Oh my
All right, so yeah, I got 210 seconds also.
What?
And go. So thank you all for doing those surveys that I send out just about every other week. There's 3 surveys. There's one about meetings, one about volunteer activities, and one about social activities. What we want to do is start collecting data as a club to see are all the activities that we're doing as a club meeting what you want in terms of meeting the mission of the club, meeting are they enjoyable? Are they things you want to be doing? And we would like you to do the survey whether you participate in the activity or not, whether you show up in the meeting or not, whether you volunteer or not. If you're not volunteering, we would just like to know, is it because this doesn't fit your interests or is it just didn't fit your schedule this time? I'm gonna show, what I would like to do, as soon as it's up here, is show you a little bit what those survey results have come in, just to show you that we're looking at it and we're analyzing it. This is not all the data you provided for me. It's really just kind of an overview, but I'm putting together a more full report. You gotta pause my time.
I will.
And I've been,
2:22.
okay, I got 111 left.
Did we know what spring graphics like display?
I was just gonna let you keep going.
Yeah, I don't have. So I'm just gonna show you some results of what you thought about the meetings, the socials, the volunteer activities, if they've been useful for advancing our mission, if they've been enjoyable experiences, if they've been useful for networking. I don't think you need to ring every bell with every single activity, but when we look at overall, we'd like to see us hitting everything. And if we're not, I'm going to be presenting this to the board more often than I'm presenting to the whole club. And then the board can start making decisions about what kind of activities we continue doing, what kind of activities we change. Still doesn't count on my time. Hey, you kind of see that? That's.
I don't know.
Do you have 2 windows open?
Well, okay.
Yeah, get rid of that.
I'm likely clicking the mouse first.
Yay, cool. Click on, all right, so what you see there is, I didn't do it.
There we go.
So what you see there is just one of our meetings. That was the one we had at UWL where we talked about the committee meetings. And so blue is good. That means you agreed with the statement about something that was good. This screen's pretty far away. That first one said the meeting was engaging. The second one says the meeting's productive for professional development. The third one says the meeting's productive for networking. And the last one says the meeting advanced our mission. If you click on meetings, maybe I'll just go over there.
Yeah, I could lock this. Can't
Oh, boy.
go down.
All right, scroll. All right, so I won't go too much into it. Scroll down a little bit right there and stop. And so that's all of our meetings. So you can see like what we're not hitting very well so far, just the 3 meetings I asked you about is it productive for professional development? So if that's something that the board thinks we need to do more about, maybe they will. If it's not, maybe they won't. Again, I don't know that we need to ring every bell, and especially not for every meeting. We've done the same thing, asked the same kind of questions for volunteer, so scroll. So blue is good, you can keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Not a lot of people answering the volunteer surveys. Those, I did get some responses that you didn't go and gave me some reasons, but I'm not presenting it right now. But I'll be presenting to the board later. And then scroll kind of far down. Sorry, this didn't work out very well. And then we have the social activities. I'm looking at when the social activities useful for networking and were they enjoyable. So I had a good time with some of those, and I answered that I did. So, and I should say all social events, I'll fix that typo. That's the last one. So you can see all social events. There's only someone who could disagree that was productive networking. Maybe that's me actually. But anyway, it seems like people are enjoying it. So anyway, thank you. Keep doing the surveys, especially as we get like, I mean, give your critical feedback, because that's what we can really act on. Otherwise, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. If that's good, that's fine. But thanks for doing those surveys.
10 seconds left.
Sorry about that.
Technology. Some of you may have seen one of our, Nick Ragnar, who was part of Rotary After Hours, had a little baby boy, Isaiah, who was born a little bit early, so he is in the NICU, and, send him some positive thoughts, I think things are going well, but yeah, we just wanted to say congrats to the Rigners. Because Isaiah was born quite a bit early, Nick has asked to take a leave of absence, which many of us are very sad about, but completely understand that he has his hands full at home right now. So he will be taking a leave. That puts us at 63 members for the year. And Nick also was an interactive advisor at Logan, for Logan High School. And so if anybody is interested in serving as an interactive advisor to one of the high school clubs, I mean, not just Logan, but all the area high schools have them, please let us know. It's a great experience. So congrats to the Ragnars, and we will miss him, but he said it's not goodbye, it's just I'll see you later. We also, Brandon's not here, but I thought it was pretty cool that he just got a new job with Dependable Solutions. Many of you might know that that is a company owned by Joe Rusky, who is a Rotarian. So through his Rotary connections, he has his next career move. Good to see Brandon. Congratulate him on that. And Mandy and Brian aren't here either, but it was about a year ago at Vocationals that Mandy did her vocational and let us know that she was engaged to Brian, who she met in Rotary After Hours. And they had their wedding back in September on a beautiful Saturday day. So congrats to Mandy and Brian. Anybody else have anything that I might have missed on social media that you want to brag or squeal about? Yeah, Lucas, you might have seen joined a club over in Milwaukee. So pretty cool that he'll carry on his Rotary impact in a club across the state. That's the cool thing about Rotary. AJ, you can probably attest to this. Like you were in a Rotary club. Remind me of what state? Oklahoma, and here you are now, and you're instantly friends with Rotarians in the region.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to, like, because you asked about like if anything else needs to be celebrated, I wanted to share this guy's birthday was yesterday.
Oh,
so.
happy birthday!
Thank you.
Do you want us to sing? I am not a singer, but we do have a hot mic that if somebody wants to lead it.
AJ wants y'all to say.
All right, well, with that, it's 6:21. How are we doing, Lisa?
We're good.
So we have three very special Rotarians giving vocationals tonight, Nathan, Sierra, and Phil. And we will go in that order. We've got, what about like 8-10 minutes apiece. Lisa will be keeping track. And you're welcome. Nate, you guys are welcome to go on stage. I just like didn't make it up there. But if you want to, you're more welcome to stand up here.
Oh, as long as I don't have to.
You don't have to. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
It would be better if you stayed down here.
for that
I'll,
one.
I'll show you what it looks like up here. It's actually not
I
bad.
have a big place.
And the mic Laura was testing it earlier, so if you want some mic action.
You got
Stay
it.
down.
Stand
Yeah,
down.
otherwise, you're welcome to come up here and.
Okay.
Nathan, take it away.
Thank you. Oh, I get.
You,
that.
you can
I-
chug your
take
wine
the
if you'd
wine
like
with
to.
Yeah, I probably should take that with me, just in case I
You,
need
you
that.
are not in a judgy space here.
All right, so yeah, so I guess this is supposed to be the best, one of the best meetings of the, it's always one of the best meetings, so we'll see. My vocational is probably gonna go down as one of the first ever to not include pictures. There are no pictures in my.
There's equations.
Actually, there's no equations either. That would, if I'd have thought of that, I would have somehow worked in an equation. So that's really small, but so just a little bit about backstory. So I am from the Asheville, North Carolina area. So that's where all my family is still stationed at. So if you know anything about Asheville, you probably know one of two things. Either that's where the Biltmore Estate is. People who've been to Asheville, they know about the Biltmore Estate. It's the Vanderbilts. If you're familiar with that famous family, they had one of their offspring built a huge mansion there. It's a big, huge tourist attraction. And the other thing about Asheville is that it's Beer City, USA. So it was Beer City, USA for many, many years. I think it might have finally lost to Portland eventually, but it was Beer City, USA for the longest time. So high school, I did math and band. That was my two big things in high school, math and band. So yeah, I was very, very popular. Super popular with that combination. Actually, you know, I had a lot of good friends, and I still stay in touch with some of those people. So I made some really good bonds in there, and that was good. So after high school, my plan was to go to college, and I really wanted to do something with NASA, working in space and somehow in some capacity. You can't really go to college and major in astronaut. So I was originally actually an aerospace engineering major. So that's what I was going to do initially. I went to NC State, and that's where I was going to be an aerospace engineer. And then a girl happened, and I got kind of sidetracked. And so that didn't work out. And so then I ended up leaving NC State and eventually found my way to Appalachian State, which is closer to Asheville area where I'm from. So Appalachian State, if you know anything about Appalachian State, they beat Michigan. A lot of people know about the Michigan victory. They upset Michigan a few years ago. Well, it's been probably close to 10 years ago now in football. I don't know, it's been a lot of years. Appalachian State, it's a great school though. It's a little school in a town called Boone, North Carolina. And the interesting thing is it gets probably the most snow pretty much out of anywhere in North Carolina. So coming here, getting the snow is kind of like being back in school in that way. So what have I done professionally? I've always been, since graduating, I've been teaching. So I taught, I went and taught for a year, high school back in Asheville. Then I went to grad school back at Appalachian State. This is an interesting fact about my grad school days. My directed research project in grad school was optimizing the caber toss. I don't know if anybody knows what a caber toss is. You ever heard of the Scottish Highland Games? You know what those are? Caber toss is the big, huge pole. It's like a telephone pole, and they run and they throw that and they try to flip it end over end. So my project was to figure out the optimal way to throw that so that you could actually spin it.
So how far can you throw it?
You know, I never got to actually try it. Sadly. So then I just taught at various community colleges here and there. Around Raleigh, then a place in rural Kentucky, coal country Kentucky. That was really interesting, let me tell you. So after coal country Kentucky, I moved to Northwest Arkansas, which doesn't sound like an upgrade, but it really was. Northwest Arkansas was great. That was like where Walmart is stationed in that area of Arkansas, and it's really up and coming. There's a lot to do there. I recommend visiting if you've never been to Arkansas. And now I'm an instructor. That was 10 years there. Now I'm an instructor at UWL. I teach 4 sections of statistics. And my goal, honestly, is to move probably eventually outside of education. I want to either work in like a data science field or do some kind of actuarial work. Okay. So what do I do for fun? So I like hiking, I like kayaking, running, cycling. If you haven't joined, if you run at all and you haven't joined our Strava group, the Runners Club, is that what it's called? Runners Club. Just join our running club on Strava. Exploring, traveling. I haven't gotten a chance to do cross-country skiing yet, but being from the south and now moving where there's snow, I want to do cross-country skiing once I'm able to do that. And then pickleball, I want to get into that. I don't know if anybody likes that.
Mike Ritzmonder,
Yeah.
big pickleball player.
Yeah. So I need to talk to him about that. But I played tennis in high school, so pickleball should be pretty good. So my Rotary, it's interesting. I was not raised at all in a volunteering. We never volunteered. Like I know a lot of people, they're raised in families where their parents take them to volunteer, and like at Thanksgiving, you go and do the soup kitchen thing or whatever. You're raised in that kind of atmosphere. I wasn't really raised in a volunteering family. We didn't volunteer much. We weren't philanthropy minded at all. We were kind of like, we help. We're pretty insular. We kind of help our own people kind of thing. So that wasn't really natural to me. Giving, in fact, my first trip to Goodwill was kind of traumatic. So I took some stuff to Goodwill and dropped it off, and it really was kind of traumatic. I actually sat in the parking lot, like looking at my stuff and be like, do I really want to give this stuff away? So it was kind of a big deal to actually take that first step and start giving stuff. And once you start giving, then it just kind of snowballs, right? So you give a little, and then it just becomes more and more and more. And so, I feel obligated to give back. I feel like I've gotten a lot, so I feel like the need to give a lot. I've gotten a lot, and I want to give a lot back. So giving money and time, that decenters me, meaning like, we all get trapped in our head and get, consumed by our own problems. So just giving allows me to get out of that. So why Rotary specifically? So I just wanted to join like-minded people, and Rotary, I love the fact that Rotary was international. A lot of service organizations are kind of like just, they're just the United States. They're inside the United States. They don't have a global reach like Rotary does. And I like the fact that Rotary was a global organization. And then also it didn't hurt that my chapter back home where I first joined Rotary, they were an evening club also. They were really kind of similar to this club, and they also met in a bar. And so if you haven't noticed, I like a little bit of craft beer here and there. So that helped get me into Rotary also. So what else am I passionate about? So I like giving to organizations. I don't know if you've heard this term or not. There's a term called effective altruism, where you find the organizations that go the furthest with your dollars. So you're trying to figure out, based on research into the organizations, how good they're using your dollars. And there's all kinds of metrics and statistics get applied to that. And so it makes sense that I'm into that, right? They use all these statistical measures to see how far your dollar is stretching. And so if you're wondering, that's local health and reducing poverty in developing countries, where your dollar goes the farthest. Reducing food waste. Is there a way to highlight that? There's a really interesting fact on that I'll share. It's like how much food waste in the world is kind of crazy. The amount of food waste is just like insane. Look at this fact.
Good luck.
Oh, that was hard. It's something like 20% of the food we buy in this country and take home we just throw it. So yeah, so there's just some other goals I have. That's, guess my time. So there's some other goals I have. I would like to eventually work for myself. I'm remodeling the condo I bought. I want to through hike the Superior Hiking Trail. I want to do a lot of stuff, as you can see here. So this is very, very long. So, and family and kids to be determined. Let's see. So there we have it. That's me. That was short, but no pictures. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you've heard of what's the version? A sommelier is the wine version of that. So a sommelier is like an expert in wine. So if you're like a cicerone, that's like an expert in that craft. Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. So that's me. All right. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
What actually is actuarial work?
So actuarial work is like risk management. It's like mitigating risk. A lot of times they work for insurance companies. So they look at they manage like the reserves for insurance companies, but they can really work in any organization that tries to mitigate risk. It's like a risk manager.
And estimate the probability.
It's more statistics.
Right on, thank you.
Yeah, sure. There we go. Who's next? All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sierra.
Okay.
I like the pictures.
Thank you.
Come on.
I do have a lot of pictures.
Come on.
Yeah, so I'm from the area. I grew up in La Crosse. My family lives on the north side by Nutbush, right on the water. So I grew up doing a lot of water activities. Right by Marissa, yeah.
My mom's used to live there too.
And so I went to Onalaska High School, graduated from there. I started at UW Eau Claire and then wanted to come back to the area. So I went to Viterbo for marketing. I graduated in 2020, the best year ever to graduate, right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's really easy to find a job, you get to go to graduation. No. But it's okay, now I have a job. So I work. Oh, okay, I guess I'm talking about why I joined. So I joined Rotary because I've always been super interested in service. When I was in college, I started a club called the Global Outreach Club because I always just thought like locally we can do a lot of fundraising for global projects. Just because they're over there doesn't mean that they don't exist, and their problem is also our problem. So kind of like he was saying, like there's a lot of different clubs to do service, but not a lot that are internationally focused. So I really like that aspect of Rotary, and that's a big reason why I decided to join. You guys do a lot of cool social events, especially this club, super fun. And also networking. I find that every time I go to one of these meetings, I make a connection with someone where next thing you know, we're like having a class where I work, or we're making some kind of connection, which is super fun. So things I like to do, I love to travel. So I've been to, I think, 11 or 12 countries now. Someday I want to move to a different country. That's kind of a long-term goal. We'll see, but it's kind of a goal of mine. I absolutely love cats. I have one of my own. My family has 2 cats. I love them. They're so cute. We say that my cat's name that's up there is Julian. We say Julian is our TV. We don't need a TV. We just watch him walk around. Now he's cleaning himself. It's super cute. Also water skiing is really big in my family. So I learned water ski when I was like 18 months, 2 years old. It was like you water ski or get out. Like everybody did it. I thought everybody water ski till I was like 4. So that's a picture of my brother and I barefoot water skiing together last summer. It was a great thing to do during COVID when you're not able to do a lot. It's super, super fun. Currently, I'm working full-time as a development coordinator at New Horizons Shelter and Outreach Centers. So we help victims of domestic and sexual violence. I've really enjoyed working this job. I don't think I could be an outreach advocate where they're working directly with the clients. I don't know how they do it. They're superheroes. I love my job where I'm doing social media marketing, fundraising, communications. It's a lot better for my skill set, and I go home at the end of the day thinking like, oh, that was awful and sad, but not in tears. So I really appreciate them and the work that they do, but love that I get to help them do it. And then also I work very part-time as the executive director for Abilities in Harmony. So that's an organization that I started in 2017. My sophomore year of college, I spent 4 months living with a family that has 2 children that have special needs. And I saw, how much they love to sing and dance, and I was always in show choir growing up, so it was something that was really important to me. And we're kind of joking about like, oh my God, they'd be so good at show choir. I was like, no, they would really be so good at show choir. So that was when I started a camp for them, and that kind of grew into camps all around the state and got into a much bigger thing. And all of a sudden I was like, I have a nonprofit organization and I'm 19, I don't know what to do, and someone help. But it turned into a really cool thing, and it's been really amazing for a lot of kids. So that's something that we only do locally now, and then give grants to other communities so that they can start that in their own area now. But really is a big love. And if anyone is even a little bit musically inclined or not musically inclined at all, you don't have to have any senior dancing experience. We do 3-day camps. It's super fun to volunteer. You're partnered one-on-one with a kid and they love it. They don't care if you're singing the wrong thing. It's super fun. My dream today is pretty different than my career so far, but I'd really love to own a cat cafe. So to explain what a cat cafe is, because everyone's like, a what? It's a cafe that has cats. So they have them all over the world. They're really growing in popularity in this country. I actually went to the first one that ever opened. I was with my family on a trip in Montreal, Canada, and my mom and I walked by this place and we're like,
oh my God, look at all these cats in there. What is that? So we go in and it was the first one that had ever opened in North America on the first day that they opened. So if that's not a sign that I have to do it, I don't know what is. So that's what I really want to do. I've been to, I think, 29 cat cafes now. So yeah, so I studied abroad in Bangkok, Thailand. A big part of that choice was the proximity to the cat cafes. In Bangkok, they have like 30 of them. So I was like, every weekend I was at the cat cafes. And people think it's crazy, but they're successful. In some places now, they're open in multiple locations. So yeah, that's a big dream of mine. I like working in food service. I obviously love cats. So yeah, that was one of the best days ever. There was cats all over me. I was like feeding on. It was great. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Thank you guys for listening. Do you guys have any questions? I guess we're doing that.
Who's that guy next to you?
Oh, that's Chris, my boyfriend. Yeah, you know Chris. Yeah.
Have you been to the cat cafe in West Des Moines, Iowa?
Yes, I have been to that one. That's my third favorite cat cafe I've ever been to.
I went there.
You went there when?
I went to the pre-opening.
Oh my God, it's a really good cat cafe. They have a good like cat to people ratio.
Yeah,
Like, they have-
right where I live in West Des Moines.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's one there and there's one like 40 minutes north. You guys got a lot there.
So there's one location in Wisconsin.
No, they have cats. They have cats that are up for
It's
adoption.
always in my mind. It's always in my mind. Awesome. Oh, yes.
Where are your first two favorites?
My most favorite one would be in Zagreb, Croatia. The drinks there that they have are like super colorful. Like everything they do is really cute. They also have a catio, it's called. So it's like a patio, but the cats go on it. Oh my God, it's so cute. And then my second favorite one would be the one in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually. It's really good.
That's a good
Yes.
When
Go
you
ahead.
fulfill your dream of opening that cat cafe, do you think of a location in the world?
I mean, I would open one in La Crosse. I think this is absolutely a great market for it with all the colleges in town. I don't know though. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of want to move to Guatemala. So like, it's hard to say. I'm 23, so like, I don't want to decide.
So as much as I'm not personally really a cat person,
Yeah.
I know people love cats.
Yep.
So I might be in on this little investment when you.
Yeah.
When do you run the camps with Abilities of Harmony?
Yeah. Oh, when?
Yeah, when?
Oh.
Because I'd be interested in helping out.
Oh, absolutely. So we have camps in February and July. So they're typically 3-day camps. We usually do it, I think we can do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then do a performance on Saturday. It kind of varies depending when we do it. Usually the setup for the camps is we do it in conjunction with another show choir camp already happening for regular body people. And we have, you partner with them. And then in the show, it's the show choirs and our show choirs with all one thing together. So it's usually about a 10-hour commitment over 1 week. I always push that for those high school students. I'm like, 10 hours, here we go, get all those hours done, but it's super, super fun.
So a little bit about me. I did musical theater all through middle school, high school, college.
Now you're committed.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
talk.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
Super fun experience. I love it. Awesome. Any just catching the bug? Okay. Any other questions?
Stephanie Doyle online just has a comment. She
Yes.
says, fellow cat moms enthusiasts unite. So she's all in for the
Awesome.
cat cafe.
Awesome. Oh, I do want to say
You guys
too,
are
the cats are
investors
not
here.
eating. They're not eating the food. The cats are not in the food prep area. It's all very separate. Like the one in Milwaukee, there's separate HVAC systems, so it's not even cycling through the same air. Like,
Yeah.
I just always want to point that out for people that are doing.
Sitting on your laptop.
I mean, are you there to study or are you there to look at cats?
Do
They're
them
for the
at-
cats.
If you go to their
Yeah, I know, I
cafe
think
study,
so.
you need to check them for
Do they let you though?
Do what?
Do they let pet you? Like, do they like petting or?
Oh, yeah, so one of the big differences between cat cafes in America and cat cafes in a lot of other parts of the world is that in the US, the cats are up for adoption. So they don't live there, they're not like stuck there. I kind of went to Thailand to like learn and research, and what I found is they don't have the same outlook on animal respect that we do. So the cats typically just live their whole lives there and they're not super happy, and that's not super positive. But in the United States, and what I would do, they would all be adoptable. So they're usually super friendly, love the attention. So yeah. Good questions.
Thanks, Sierra.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
I have to say, I have like 2 jerk dogs that are terrible walkers, and now I feel even more guilty because when they see Sierra's cat out, they just want to like
go berserk.
Yeah, they go berserk, so now I feel.
It's okay.
Hello, so my name is Philip John Waslick, and I warn you now, I was raised not to talk about myself, so this is very weird and hard. So, early years, born outside of Boston, so I talk my and have a yan gada kapatanka. My twin brother and I were born on July 20th, the day the space shuttle landed on the moon, but not that year, so we call ourselves space cadets. We were adopted with us. My twin brother and my half sister and I into a family all the same day at the same time in the same place after being separated for a couple of years. So we got very lucky. And my mom sent me some pictures after I taught her how to use her cell phone. That's my half sister holding my brother and I, and she pretty much raised us at that age. And that's the family we were adopted into. So I was born French and Italian. So my original name was Philippe Richard Menard, and my twin brother was Richard Philippe. And now I'm Philip John Waslick, a lot less romantic. My sister is Renee Claire, and that's my family. You can see my brother and I are the tallest. And my nephew, that's my sister's son, my mother in the front, and the Italian side are the Veterans and Costanzos in New Haven in New York. My brother is a police fire dispatcher and captain of a volunteer fire department, and he owns his own life-saving business. And now married to his second wife, Kathy, and son name is Ryan, who's also now a fireman. So you can see service runs in the family, I guess. And there we are. We are much taller than my sister. And that was, on the right was my wedding day. That's my father and his sister. He died 9 years ago. And now my mother married Don, who's on the right. That's them sitting in Pearl Street ice cream, I think. And his wife died the same year my father did. And they were, both couples were best friends in the church. So he asked her out to the opera, and she was calling us like, is it okay if we go? It's like, we were waiting. Let's do it. So my career, musician, I was a band teacher for about 10 years. And that's a group that I performed in for 4 to 5 years at Connecticut Hurricanes. I also performed in Phantom Regiment. And now I'm on the board with River City Rhythm up in Minneapolis. And I helped start the 7th Regiment Drum and Bugle Corps in Connecticut. And that was a high school band that I taught. So we had a very large high school marching band.
That color guard is insane.
Yes. So I had three winter guards, 2 winter percussion groups, a high school marching band, about 180 kids. And I conducted 2 school musicals a year, and then 3 jazz bands. And then I taught during the school day. So that was a group that I taught, and
Was that in the Twin Cities?
that's Connecticut.
That was still Connecticut.
That was still Connecticut, yeah. So we played in Baltimore Ravens Stadium, MetLife Stadium, Patriots, what forgot the name of that one? Gillette, thank you. So we traveled up and down the East Coast. So I had to learn how to mathematically, I guess, I know nothing about math, write the drill. So how many steps between each every 5 to 10 yards while they're breathing and playing at the same time and spinning and moving. That's one of the concert bands I now play in, the Capo Community Band. I also play in the lacrosse concert band during the summer in the band shell. And I just started playing with the Nona Brass Band on Monday nights. So we're waiting to see if we ever have a concert again. musicians know how depressing that can be. Yeah. This is one of the performances that I help teach, just to get an idea. So this is in Indianapolis at the Colts Oil Stadium.
What court is this?
This is Santa Clara Bay.
Okay.
So that's now what I do in my spare time. So basically we had auditions at the weekend after Thanksgiving, and then the kids would get a 1, 2, or 3. 1 is you're automatically in. 2, you can come back. 3 is thanks for your donation. And then they'll rehearse, memorize, and send tapes in, audio recordings once a month to make sure they're practicing. And then we moved into a university for 2 weeks, and they rehearsed from 7 in the morning until midnight every day for 2 weeks, doing calisthenics, running miles, learning the drill, memorizing everything. And then in the middle of June, they move on to a coach bus, sleep on the floor, and rehearse all day, and do a show every other day, or 5 or 6 parades on the 4th of July. And then they have world championships in August, and then we start all over again. And it costs about $1.5 million minimum to run a corps every year, because they have to eat 5 meals a day out of a truck and go shopping for food. We have a lot of volunteers, coach bus drivers, but now I'm a pastor. I wanted to do that since middle school, and then getting laid off every year in Connecticut as a teacher, I decided, well, I think God's trying to tell me something. And nobody wanted the job, so they'd rehire me back, and it was just a monotonous cycle. So I figured I can do music, teach kids and adults, and do what I felt called to since middle school. And I ended up here because I ended up working in the trauma unit in ER and critical care at Gunderson as a chaplain resident for a year. It's very emotional, I get. All teared up about it. You see a lot of things, and you touch a lot of people's lives, and get to do that in the church. And one of the reasons I picked Trinity is because they have the children's clothes closet, teen clothes closet, the food pantry, the meals, and you get to touch so many people every day in their lives and do the good stuff. So that's me. Oh, I went to seminary in Philadelphia. Not a big deal. Those are just pictures of the ministry. We are finishing up a house on Avon Street with Habitat for Humanity. That's the food, Monday meals. We serve about 1 to 200 people every Monday night. And then we gave up about, I think, over 100 pounds of clothing to the Afghanistan refugees out of our clothes closet.
I've used the team for science and social worker, and it's,
Oh, great, good, good. Any questions?
How long have you been in the lacrosse area?
August was 2 years.
What instruments do you play?
Everything but strings.
What's your favorite?
Do the ones playing on the the solos on the stands, the risers, that's the euphonium. Horn, baritone horn, that's what I play.
Yeah.
And I sing tenor and baritone.
Awesome. I was in marching band.
Oh, bless you. How's your knees and back?
Oh, you're funny. You're funny. You're so funny.
Why'd you join Rotary?
Oh, why I joined Rotary? Believe it or not, I knew some people at Howie's. And I was telling them about all the stuff I like to do. And they say, you should join Rotary.
What's his name, Bruce?
His name was Bruce. And I knew a couple other people too that I
Is he a serial
met.
recruiter?
Bruce Swanek is a serial recruiter for.
Yeah.
Hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also a mainstay at Howie's.
Nah. Yeah. And then I love doing work, but I also wanted to meet people outside of the typical church circle, because I see them all day long, all weekend long. So I wanted to meet new people, like they said before, like-minded, but a lot of diversity, a lot of diverse interests, and expand my wings a little bit. Yep.
So, Elka,
Yes. ELCA. Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. Yeah. Oh, I love traveling. Is that on? Sorry. I love traveling. I'm actually going back to Rome in March for 10 days. I try to go every other year. I now have friends there that actually that they do the tours in the Vatican. And they have some connections to the ELCI, Evangelical Lutheran Church in Italy. So I've been to El Salvador, Guatemala, Venezuela, Sydney, Australia, London, Paris, Austria, Germany.
are you going to the cat cafes?
No cat cafes. That was a new one. That was a brand new one. But it's a cool story about Rome. I went there the first time and it started hailing and downpouring it's like Florida, every time around 2 o'clock. So I'm sat down in a little cafe, no cats or dogs or seals or anything. And the guy just sits down next to me. He's like, gives me a cigar. Hey, how you doing? And he gave me a coffee. And then we talked for like an hour and a half. And finally I said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I have an appointment. I said, what do I owe you? He's like, oh, no, you great company. He owned the cafe and the whole block and he just wanted to talk to somebody. So they are so friendly. And I had as much as, I know I'm Lutheran, but it was pretty cool. Anyways, got to have an audience with the Pope every time I went, which I didn't sit next to him. He'd sit out there and do a service, but he was this close to me, even though it was pretty cool, even though I'm Lutheran, not Catholic. And I am, if you've seen anything on Facebook or Instagram, I am an avid Red Sox fan, so I'm still in the morning. So I've been to several Red Sox games, but not at Fenway because you can't get tickets. Any other questions? I get a cup of Dunkin'. Thank you.
Still amazing. Like, I just love hearing the stories from our members, and you learn so many, not just one thing, but several things about each one. Especially, you're not kidding. Oh, it is. So let's give them all a round of applause. We did remember one activity event coming up that needs special mention. Amy, Can you tell us about the upcoming iFeed event?
Yeah, so I think this year will be on November 6th, so that's Saturday. For everyone that doesn't know what iFeed is, it's a community food drive started by the Interact, so high school Rotary students. So usually we feed or we pack meals and donate them to other countries and then do a really large food drive for the community. However, due to COVID, we're not doing the food packing, but we will do the food drive. So November 6th, Saturday, you can go to any of your local high schools that have Interact clubs and donate food, any perishable foods or just money. And then the students will be sorting them and it will go into the Hunger Task Force. It is a competition for their schools, so there's a large trophy that Nick Wagner gave to the clubs, a big wrestling belt. So they will be looking to try to win that. So local clubs are at Aquinas. It'll be from 9 to noon. You can donate your food. Aquinas, Logan, Central, Unalaska, Holman, West Salem, and Caledonia. I'm good at this. I've been doing this for like a month. So go to any local high schools from 9 to noon on that Saturday and donate food or money, please. Thank you. We might also be having yard signs. So if I will shoot out a email or on Facebook if anyone would like to put a yard sign out in their yard. But it's not as big as other years. We really want to push this food. Hunger Task Force always needs it. So.
Thank you, Amy, and Liz Evans is also representing After Hours on that planning committee, so.
Only one's on my committee.
Yeah, committee of 2. Many thanks to those two. The food pantries are, as you can imagine, in dire need of food, so if you have an opportunity to stop by, that'd be awesome. Are any other announcements that we need to hit on before we officially close? So our next meeting is going to be on November 9th. Stay tuned for location and speaker topic. President Nancy will be gone again, so we might get stuck with, I don't know, one of us. But it will be a good program. There's a couple things in the works, so that should come out soon. But Ashley, you want to lead us? We close each Rotary meeting with the Rotary International has a 4-way test. We added a 5th way because we are all about having fun. So Ashley, would you lead us in the 5-way test?
Sure. Of all the things we think, say, and do.
Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it fun?
You get to ring the bell because I rang it to start. Thank you guys so much for coming. If there's more food or drinks, feel free to take more. And again, so great to see you and have a good night.
Gentle.
Yeah, here. I don't know where my phone is. I was like pinging it, like, I don't know, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in your hand at all.
Hey, Sierra.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more request. For Mike. I can take like somehow get a group photo, like you don't have to get close together, you can just like scatter here. I'm gonna take you, because I need pictures for social media. If you'd like to join the public image committee. Join us, actually, we'd love to have you. We need help with the sweater and promoting it. So if you see those posts on Facebook, share them, because the more posts we get, the more sees, the more signups, and the more money we make, and the more impact.
The more good we do.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Marissa, you have to actually be in a picture.
I kind of like this one. I thought I
Yeah. I'm currently, I'm looking for places.
Okay, everyone smile at Ashley.
Oh.
Oh, you need to be the picture?